Hi everyone, Nicholas Lee here and welcome to day one of the Duty to Sell challenge. And this one I call it Break the Sales Lie, Why Your Struggles with Sales is Not Your Fault. As you can see right now, you're in the classroom. This is day one. So I'm going to go to my slides and let's get going with day one. So let me ask you a question. Who do you think are the best salespeople in the world? And obviously the answer is already here, so it kind of defeats the purpose. But one thing I've learned is that children are the best salespeople in the world. Now imagine this, right? You go to a shop and you have your 2-year-old, your 4-year-old. Like right now I've got my sister's 2 nephews. One is 4, one is 6. And, if you take them to a shop, the first thing, or when you get out and you're paying for whatever you came to buy, imagine this. You see the 4-year-old. Why do you think all of the shops, all of the off-license, they have toys, sweets, anything that kids would want at the kids level stand? Think about it. This is because your children are the best salespeople, right? Have you ever bought anything that you did not want to buy, but because your children made you buy, because they used all of the sales tricks, tactics that they have in them, that they were born with, you ended up buying a lot more things that you would not want to buy. Now, my point with this is not that you should stop buying things for your children. Keep doing it. Actually, make more money and then you can buy more. What I mean by that is, let me ask you another question, right? Were you a kid at some point in your life? Unless you came from a different planet, I would assume everyone listening to me right now has been a child before, right? So if you were a child before, can we all agree that you were once a very good salesperson? And you were really good at influencing people around you, your parents, your friends, your family. And my goal with this challenge is to help you go back to this ability, but more importantly, allow you to realize that the ability to influence, the ability to sell is something that we are all born with. But unfortunately, as time went by, as we went to school, as people were telling us what to do, what to learn, we started to lose this skill. And because we stopped using it, we stopped to master the skill. Also, it's because of past conditioning. I know I had a very bad connotation, you want to call it, or I had bad feelings about salespeople, because there's always been stories about I remember back when I was younger, I had those salespeople selling encyclopedias to my parents, and I've got loads of encyclopedias everywhere in the libraries back at home. But I've actually not really been into many of them, and I wonder how many people actually read those books. We've heard of the snake oil salespeople, we've heard of the scammers, we've heard of all of those people that at an unconscious level makes us think that sales people are bad people. And imagine this, right? If you don't like someone, if you don't like salespeople, why would you want to become like them? Now, if you take some time to think about it, what were the real reasons you didn't like them? But more importantly, if you are providing a great service, if you are providing a great product for your customers, don't you think it is your duty to sell this product and service to them? Rather than thinking of sales as something that allows you to make more money for your business, for your life, to leave, think of sales as something that is adding value to your clients and to your customers. Now, very important point I want to make as well, if you know that you are selling shit, if you know that whatever you're selling, you're offering as a service, as a product, is not up to standard, please do not sell to anyone. However, if you know whatever you're providing will add value, will improve people's life, will save life, will save them time, will save them the heartache, the stress, and all of those things that people come to you to be solved, it is your duty to sell to them. At the same time, me right now speaking to you, and I will be very honest, and I will be very transparent. Everything I'm saying right now, everything you're going to hear me say, is going to be about influencing you, selling to you the idea that selling is an amazing thing, selling is an amazing skill that you should all have, that your children should not be removed from this ability, but actually you should nurture their ability to sell and influence even more with what I'm going to share with you here over the next 30 days. So hopefully this point is becoming clear. One more thing I would suggest, the way I teach as well, is I like to ask my students to look for what I call the aha moments, AHA, aha moments. So if something that I say to you, a concept, a principle, an idea, an analogy that you think, oh, that looks very simple, very common, but I never thought of it this way. Take a piece of paper or on your laptop or on your phone, write it down. I will share with you where you would share it in the community, but being able to see those aha moments and to pick up new ways of thinking and consistently seeing them is what will accelerate your ability to learn and to master this skill as quickly as possible. Okay. Now, the reason I call this challenge the duty to sell challenge is because to me, selling is a duty, but believing that it is a duty is an identity. I will go in more detail about identities in the next, on day 2, but I just thought I'll seed this idea about identity, because having an identity has a bigger meaning to someone rather than just trying to do something. It's the same idea where people always tell us, and one of my students told me that she has been doing the gratitude list. However, because she doesn't understand why she was doing it, she once stopped doing it but did not get the value and the benefit from it. And this is why on day 2, I will explain to you in more detail why it's important to have an upgraded identity around sales, and more importantly, in my view, around your duty to sell. Because if you have an identity of someone that believes that she or she should sell to every person that is a right fit, you won't need any scripts. You will know what to say, and you will make more sales, full stop. Now, what I teach on the phase 2, which is the mechanical influence, I will teach you frameworks that allows you to make consistent sales again and again and again, like a system, like having a car that's always driving correctly and knowing where the fault is when you're not driving correctly. But it's not going to be scripts. I will teach you some questions you can use, but eventually I will teach you and want you to build and create your own questions once you understand the principles behind what you do. And this is a very key thing I want to share, right? And here again, I think I've already covered this part, why duty to sell as an identity is more powerful rather than just using a line, using a question just to make a sale. This goes way deeper and will have a more powerful and long-lasting effect on you, on your clients, and on the people around you. Okay, now it's going to be a shorter one today, so hopefully you'll appreciate that. I don't want to take too much of your time, but we're going to do the next phase now, which is how to use the Dragons tracker. On day 0, I would have already showed you how to use it, so I'm going to do it again, because conditioning and teaching you again and again, you will see new things, which I'm also going to cover why this is the case by teaching you about the reticular activating system on the next few days. So don't worry about it, I'm just seeding the idea, but let's just go now and show you how to use the Dragons tracker again, so it makes more sense. It says first community post, but this is wrong, we've already done one, but I'll show you how to do the next one. Alright, so let's go and come here. So how to use the Dragon tracker. As I would have showed you, if you go back to day 0, I have also created a training, a very small one, on how to have your documents and the school community all under one folder, so it's easy to access. I'm going to go into the Dragons tracker. Okay, and as we see, this is the active one I'm using right now, and clearly this is missing something, so I'm going to adjust this. Okay, so it takes all of the numbers, and today we're going to do day 1. So watch day 1 training, take community post. What I would suggest you do today is just share any cool things you've learned about breaking the lies, or anything you've learned on this training on day 1. So you could put it here, things I've learned on day 1. So I'm going to write a quick one here, and then you can do the same on your end. Okay, so I've created a quick one, a quick post, the things I've learned on day 1, that's the title. I've just come to day 1 of the Duty to Sell challenge, and here are the 3 things I've learned. Changing my identity is more important than just doing actions, because these actions will not last long. It's very important to understand why I do things rather than just doing things because someone said it. If I can understand why I do certain things, I will be able to get a deeper understanding of it that will allow me to create my own questions in sales conversations. Okay, then I've chosen general. Okay, then you can just post it. Okay, now the reason I want you to write the things you've learned and the things, and by the way, you don't need to write all of this, just write one line, but you writing this is so valuable to me because I can read the language you use and I'll understand how much of what I've shared you understood and where things are missing and what else I could share to make it better. Okay. However, if you don't share those with me, I don't know whether what I'm sharing is working. I don't know where people are struggling. So please, the more you can post, the more you can share, the easier it will be for me to make this training, this challenge as valuable as possible. Okay. So that's just an example for you. You can also add a GIF if you want, right? And the best part, you can read what other people are saying because everyone is looking at the training from a perspective, from the problems they're having. So seeing the same training, the same things from different perspectives will allow you to learn it at a deeper level. And this is where the real learning happens. And I will keep on sharing this with you until you will start to see it and you will start to feel it and you will get the results you are looking for. Okay, so that's it from me for today. Now, before we finish, of course, we go back to for me it's called the active because I had to create a different one, but yours will be called the Dragons tracker. And you click on community post because you've done it. Now you need to find the link as to what post you've done. So if we go back down, we come here, we click on the one we've done, go for the 3 dots, copy the link, and we're going to post it back here. Boom. And as you can see, that turns into green. This is a 20 point. This is perfect. Okay. I mean, one thing you can add is actually a screenshot of this. Actually, I'm going to leave it for the next day, because we're going to start to build up a few things that would allow you to track what you're doing, allow you to see how much you are growing through this training as a person, so you can come back and review. And it's going to be pretty cool, by the way. After 30 days, you're going to look back as to how you used to think, how you used to write, the language you used to use, and you will see how much you would have grown in 7 days, in 15 days, in 30 days. I can promise you this. So that's it for me. That's for day 1. And I hope you've learned some valuable information that you can start to apply regarding identity, regarding the duty to sell. Let's keep moving. Day 2 is going to be a bit more. As you can see, we started slow, but we're going to go and pick things up, and there's a lot more that's going to come your way in this training. All right. At the same time, again, if you feel other people will benefit from this, do share with them. And as I said again, the way you share with them is you can literally go to Classroom, click on this, and then you can right click, copy, and send it to them. Or you go to the About page, right click, copy to them, send it to them, so they can join and they can start benefiting from it. If it's more than one, if you're together doing it together, you will feel even a bigger gain from doing this. Okay, so that's it from me. That's day 1, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 2.